our show today, how expensive is a basket of food in South Africa? A record maize crop expected in 2070. And are retailers selling shelf space to manufacturers? Bagaitsu dumelang and welcome to Consumer Guard, the show where you get to make yourself heard. Earlier this year, we spoke to consumers about food prices in South Africa. Let's quickly recap before we unpack today's show.
Majority of South Africans are still crying foul over the price of basic food items. Bread, milk, sugar, meat and maize continue to increase. And nothing is being done to make sure the average South African can afford these basic foods.
Living is very high.
Quite high, very high, because when you take 200 and go to Pick n Pay, I mean, like you only get toiletry. You won't get your own toiletries and all that.
It's too high. Things are expensive. Others, they're not even reasonable. The prices are not reasonable. So like things are so expensive.
It's very, very too high.
Maize meal is 100 rand, and I remember back in the days I used to go to buy maize meal with a 50 rand and get change. But today, 100 rand, done.
Last year we were using Ace, but now we're using a White Star. So
Maize meal, I use White Star.
We used to buy Ace 12.5 less than 100 rand, but now it's more than 100 rand.
it is expensive. They are expensive. They're expensive.
No, it's not reasonable because some people, because they can't afford to buy that thing because it's more expensive.
I remember the past few months it was like 100 and something for 12.5, which is very expensive. But I don't know why. It's really becoming very, very expensive.
I use a meal and I spend a lot of money.
Nurega na chiki beriksa mabele. Komoro ne beriksa Ace le sha. So ga bona re nga ka ile re nge ke motho ile re nge ke fela ke ya kereke so ba re ke sumisha mabele so no ke sumisha mabele.
Specifically I can brand ke reng ke re ke specialize ka yona. But because re ka re ke shop e fe dirile special. I reckon I go ShopRite, for example, I go ShopRite, ba rekeng especially not because I prefer it, because it's cheap. Yeah, so I can brand ke reng ke ja yona.
We buy Super Sun meal and I reka 12.5 and then it lasts quite well. I prefer a Super Sun meal because low we are paying over Kotofal and Banakamumaling. Other brands we are paying Abulas, the last quaid.
Maize meal reka ko ShopRite and then reka 12.5 or 10 kg. Still, it's on high price. Like now we women, like when you cook, okono level difference here, there's this quality or there's this not quality. So relevella hore bo hobe pila ho ba pia o bo fetlana. So Super Sun in Nafana is the best.
On a monthly basis, the National Agricultural Marketing Council calculates the price for a basic food basket based on what the average South African will consume. We spoke to their senior manager, Mr. Simpiwe Ngangweni, to find out whether food prices have decreased or not.
For many years, the National Agricultural Marketing Council has been working on the National Food Basket Price on behalf of the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries. The purpose of this basket is to keep track of food prices in South Africa.
So what we do we release various publications on a monthly basis We also release a publication on a quarterly basis as well as on an annual basis. The idea behind these publications is to basically track the prices of food. On a monthly basis, we release what we call a food basket price, and we compare it, obviously, we track it over time. Then on a quarterly basis, we do a much broader release that looks at comparisons with other countries and so on. We also look at comparisons between rural and urban food prices. And then on an annual basis, we release an even bigger document that looks at how food price is formed along the food value chain.
The basket contains food that is consumed by an average South African, maintaining a balanced diet of your starch, proteins, etc.
It's basically your normal items that as a consumer you consume on a daily basis. It's your milk, your eggs, your cooking oil, your meat, peanut butter, those kind of things. So it's basically a basic food basket. It doesn't consist of your more luxury items like ice cream and things like that. It's more of your basic items.
October 2016, the food inflation escalates to 13% due to the exchange rate and the drought experienced in the country.
As you are aware, we're coming from or we've just recovered from a period of intense drought. That basically meant that food prices have gone quite high. Around October 2016, I think that was a peak. We had a food inflation of up to 13%, close to 13%. This was because of the drought mainly, but another factor that was very closely a determinant of food prices was the exchange rate, the weakening of the exchange rate. So these two factors have both combined to determine the level of food prices.
The April 2017 basket has seen a significant change. In fact, thanks to the summer rains, prices have been on a decline since the start of this year.
We are now at about 8%, which is good news, especially for the poor consumers who spend most of their money on food. So our basket is also showing the same trend. We've come down from a period of high prices, and we're now seeing a bit of a slowdown. This is because of better conditions, production conditions around the country. In fact, we're looking at a record harvest this coming season. In fact, in terms of maize and grains in general, okay, let me look at maize specifically. We're looking at about 16 million tons this coming season, which is the largest crop that we've ever seen in the history of this country. So,
due to the fact that the basket items has been altered, it cannot be compared year on year with last year, but one can compare prices between urban and rural areas. The basket has reflected that for items like milk, one can expect to pay more in rural areas than urban areas. Bread and maize prices, however, are cheaper in rural areas. The alarming items is peanut butter and white sugar, which is more in rural areas, as well as sunflower and margarine, which sees a significant price hike in the urban areas. This month's basket cost a total of R847.59 for 28 items, compared to last month's R850.49, indicating a decrease of 0.34%. It is said that most item prices are influenced by the grains, and with the country experiencing a good crop, food prices are expected to drop even further.
in the basket, the products that usually influence prices more than the others is usually the grain products, because the grain products, if you look at them, they are usually an input into not only human food but also livestock. So they tend to drive a lot of what happens in terms of the movement of food prices. So those are the items that you usually look at, and of course the meat products as well. But in general, the movement is kind of homogeneous throughout the basket.
Even though the food inflation has decreased, it remains to be seen on whether consumers will experience the effects of the drop immediately.
Similar to when the petrol price decreases and taxi fare doesn't go down, it's the same with most food items. Reasons for this is that most retailers buy stock ahead of time and use forecasting methods. This means they've already paid the price for most of their stock, and it takes time before consumers can start seeing the savings in their pockets. Most food manufacturers also blame the rand and the drought for the increase, but even during the years that they were not experiencing drought, food prices kept increasing. According to the Pietermaritzburg Agency for Community Social Action, their food basket has been on the rise. We did a comparison on a few items from March 2015 and this year. In March of 2015, a 25 kilogram of maize was 158 Rand 99 cents. The same bag this year cost 241 Rand 14 cents, a difference of 82 Rand 15 cents. While 10 kilograms of sugar used to cost 102 Rand 97 cents, but now it's 141 Rand 48 cents, a difference of 45 Rand 51 cents. It's the same thing with chicken pieces and chicken feet, which used to cost 69 Rand 28 cents for 4 kilos, but now has gone up to 97 Rand 94 cents. However, it's not all doom and gloom, as vegetable and fruit prices have come down, although one could argue and say how much of a difference does that make to the ultimate price of a food basket. In 2012, the average price of a food basket was just over 1,300 Rand, but 5 years later it cost 2,068 Rand and 35 cents, which leaves the question in mind, what's really driving the food prices up?
We are going to take a break. When we return, we speak to an economist to find out which food items are expected to increase. Plus, our big question, are retailers selling shelf space to manufacturers? Stay tuned.